What if I told you that you could become 10 times better? Not over 10 years, not someday in the future, but by making the right decisions every single day, starting now. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. You just need to decide that you're done settling for average. You need to decide that today is the day you stop wasting time with the wrong habits, the wrong people, and the wrong mindset. This video is not about hype. It's about real change. You'll learn how to build a stronger mind, a more focused life, and an unstoppable drive for growth. I'm going to show you how to take full control over the one thing that shapes everything else in your life, your environment. Who you listen to, who you spend time with, who you allow to influence your thoughts. If you've ever felt stuck, unmotivated, or overwhelmed, this is the breakthrough you've been looking for. You'll walk away from this with real steps you can use immediately to shift your direction and finally become the person you've always wanted to be. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why surrounding yourself with the right people is not just helpful, it's necessary. And you'll have the tools to start doing it today. Chapter 1. Take full responsibility for your actions and decisions today. You are the starting point of everything that will happen in your life from this moment forward. If there is one truth that cuts through every excuse, every delay, every distraction, it is this: you are responsible for what you choose, how you react, and where you go from here. No one else can do it for you. The quality of your life depends on the level of responsibility you are willing to take today. There is power in that truth. It can feel heavy, even uncomfortable, but it is the kind of weight that strengthens you. The moment you stop blaming your circumstances, your parents, your past, or your luck, is the moment your life begins to change. Most people waste months or even years waiting for something to change outside of them, when everything they truly need is already within them. You can't improve your life if you're busy pointing fingers. The path to becoming 10x better every day begins when you point the finger at yourself, not in blame but in ownership. Responsibility is not about guilt or shame. It's not about beating yourself up for mistakes. It's about recognizing that your life is your own. Every thought you think, every decision you make, every action you take, these are building the future you're walking into. When you choose to take full responsibility, you stop being a victim of your life and start becoming the creator of it. That's when you gain control, and control leads to confidence, and confidence leads to action. And action taken daily with discipline leads to progress that compounds. You are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are not defined by what has happened to you, but by how you respond to it. Even in pain, even in failure, even in loss, you have the power to choose your response. That is where strength is born. That is where character is built. That is where your future begins. Taking full responsibility today means waking up and deciding that your emotions are your responsibility. If you feel angry, discouraged, distracted, it's on you to understand it, manage it, and act in a way that moves you forward. No one else can do that inner work for you. Blaming others might feel good for a moment, but it steals your power. Taking responsibility gives it back. It means looking at your time and how you spend it. If you're wasting hours on your phone, if you're staying up late doing nothing productive, if you're skipping workouts, avoiding hard conversations, or making the same bad choices over and over, it's on you to stop. Change doesn't require you to do everything at once. It just requires you to take ownership and start improving something today. One choice, one action, one honest moment. You become better by making better decisions. and better decisions come from taking responsibility for your current ones. If you don't like where you are, it doesn't make you a failure. It just means it's time to stop lying to yourself about why you're there. That kind of honesty is rare, and that's why growth is rare. But you're not here to be like most people. You're here to become someone disciplined, strong, and committed. That begins with facing the truth about your habits and your mindset. If your results are average, there's a reason. If your mindset is scattered, there's a reason. If your life is not where you want it to be, there's a reason. The moment you stop defending your old ways is the moment you can start building new ones. Don't tell yourself stories to feel better. Tell yourself the truth to get better. Nothing will change unless you do, and nothing in you will change unless you take full responsibility today, not tomorrow, not next week, but today. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you prepare, how you respond, and how you grow from it. That's responsibility in action. It's easy to blame bad luck or difficult people, but that won't change your life. What will change your life is waking up each day and asking, what can I do today to be stronger, wiser, and more focused? And then doing it without waiting for someone to save you. You are not a product of your environment. You are a product of your standards. If you want to become 10x better, raise your standards and meet them with discipline. No one is coming to push you. No one will force you to grow. That's your job. You get one life. Either you take control of it or you watch it pass by. Taking responsibility means choosing growth over comfort, choosing discipline over excuses, and choosing effort over complaints. There's no progress without effort, and there's no lasting effort without responsibility. So if you want to improve your relationships, your mindset, your health, your income, your purpose, it all starts with owning your actions and decisions. Every goal you have is on the other side of your commitment to stop waiting for permission and start leading yourself. It takes courage to look in the mirror and admit where you've been slipping. It takes maturity to stop making excuses and start making changes. Most people avoid this kind of self-reflection, but the few who face it, they rise, they improve, they become better, not just once but every single day, because they've built a foundation of personal responsibility. When you take full ownership, you stop needing external motivation. You stop needing people to cheer you on or validate your efforts. You move with a quiet force, driven by your own standards. You learn to hold yourself accountable, not out of pressure, but out of purpose. Your inner discipline becomes your greatest strength. Think about how your life could look 6 months from now if you started taking full responsibility today. What if every decision was made with clarity and purpose? What if you stopped justifying your weaknesses and started replacing them with strength? What if you stopped blaming your past and started building your future? Responsibility doesn't require perfection. It requires progress. It requires honesty. It requires effort. The more responsible you become, the more in control you feel, and the more control you feel, the more confident you become. That confidence isn't about arrogance. It's about knowing that your life is being shaped by the choices you make, and that you're strong enough to keep choosing well. You become better, not by waiting for life to get easier, but by getting stronger every day. That strength comes from ownership, from responsibility, from refusing to blame others or the world for where you are, and instead asking yourself, what can I do to improve this? Even when life is unfair, even when people let you down, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. The people who change their lives don't do it because they had perfect support or lucky breaks. They do it because they refuse to keep living beneath their potential. They got tired of their own excuses. They got honest about what was holding them back. And they decided that every single day was an opportunity to take control and improve, no matter how small the steps. That can be you. That must be you. If you want to wake up with purpose, sleep with peace, and live with clarity, then take responsibility for every part of your life today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't blame the past. Don't waste time. Start now. You're not here to survive. You're here to grow. You're here to lead yourself. You're here to become 10x better. Starting with this moment, this decision, this day. Own it. All of it. Because the second you do, you stop waiting for change and start becoming it. And once you start, nothing can stop you except your own decision to quit. Keep going. Keep improving. Keep taking responsibility. That is the foundation of the life you truly want. Chapter 2. Commit to consistent daily habits for long-term growth. Every day you wake up without a plan is a day you hand your future over to chaos. You might not see it immediately, but the invisible cost of inconsistency compounds faster than failure. If you don't build habits that serve your growth, you will keep falling back into patterns that destroy your momentum. You don't become successful by accident. You build it piece by piece through consistent daily effort that becomes impossible to ignore. If your life feels stuck, it's not because you're incapable, it's because you've let inconsistency become your default. And that ends now. Growth doesn't come from random bursts of motivation. It comes from structure, from discipline, from choosing the right actions when you don't feel like doing them. The world rewards those who can execute when no one's watching. If you want to become the kind of person who wins, who improves, who leads, who inspires, it starts with habits you can count on every single day. You can't transform your life by doing something once. You transform by doing the right thing repeatedly until it rewires how you think, how you act, and who you are. When people say they want to change their lives, what they really mean is they want to feel in control. They want peace, purpose, and power. But those things don't show up by chance. They are built by what you do daily. The smallest consistent habits done over time will outperform the biggest goals that are never acted on. Wanting a better life is easy. Doing what it takes to build it, even when it's boring, hard, or thankless, that's where most people fall off. You don't have to be one of them. There's nothing exciting about doing the same disciplined routine day after day. But if you study anyone who has achieved greatness in any field, whether it's business, fitness, art, or leadership, you'll find that their secret isn't talent or luck. It's that they've mastered the boring work. They've turned excellence into a habit. They don't chase motivation. They've trained their mind to respect the routine. That's what makes them powerful. That's what makes them unstoppable. If your mornings are chaotic, your day will be chaotic. If you don't know what matters most today, you'll waste hours on things that don't matter at all. If your mind is scattered, your energy will be scattered. That's why consistency matters. It removes the guesswork. It puts your values into action. It gives you a reliable rhythm so that progress is no longer optional. It becomes inevitable. You don't need to wait for life to feel right to start moving forward. You need to create a system that makes forward movement your default. Start small. Pick one habit that aligns with the person you want to become. It could be waking up an hour earlier, journaling for 10 minutes, planning your day the night before, eating one clean meal, going for a daily walk, reading 5 pages of a meaningful book, just one thing. But do it every day without skipping. When you repeat something daily, it stops being a decision and starts becoming part of who you are. That's the power of consistency. It turns effort into identity. Don't chase perfection. That's where most people burn out. They try to change everything at once and collapse under the weight of their own unrealistic expectations. The goal isn't to do everything, it's to do the right things, consistently. Momentum is not built by intensity. It's built by discipline. One clear action done daily beats 100 great ideas that never leave your mind. If you want to grow, simplify your focus. Pick a few actions and do them like your future depends on it, because it does. Habits are more than just routines. They are agreements you make with your future self. Every time you show up for yourself, even in the smallest way, you're building trust. You're proving that you can be counted on. And when you trust yourself, you stop needing permission from the world. That's when you become powerful. That's when you become dangerous to your old excuses. That's when you start leading your life instead of reacting to it. Most people don't fail because they lack the ability to grow. They fail because they keep resetting. They keep breaking promises to themselves. They let short-term comfort kill long-term purpose. If you want to be someone who grows stronger every single day, you have to protect your consistency like it's sacred. Because it is. It's not just about getting things done, it's about who you become in the process of doing them. There's a difference between being busy and being committed. Busy people do a lot, but grow little. Committed people do less, but they do it with intention, with focus, and with follow-through. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters consistently. Don't fall for the trap of complexity. The real breakthrough comes when you simplify your day, remove distractions, and show up for your priorities no matter what. You will be tested. Life will challenge your consistency. You'll get tired, discouraged, or tempted to skip the process. But those are the moments that matter the most. Anyone can be consistent when they're inspired. It's who you are when you don't feel like it that defines your future. Resilience is not born from comfort. It's born from pushing through when everything in you wants to quit. That's how habits become strength. That's how discipline becomes freedom. You don't need to be perfect to win. You just need to stop quitting. One day of showing up, followed by another, followed by another. That's how momentum is built. That's how identities are forged. You'll wake up one day and realize that what once felt like a struggle has become second nature. That's not luck. That's the reward of consistency. It pays you in confidence. It pays you in progress. It pays you in peace of mind, knowing you are moving forward even when the world feels stuck. If your days lack direction, build structure. If your mind feels cluttered, build clarity through repetition. If your energy is low, start fueling your body and moving it consistently. Habits are not complicated, but they are powerful. They are the most underutilized form of personal transformation. If you can master your habits, you can master your life. Don't let a day pass without doing something that builds your future. No matter how small it seems, that action counts. You are planting seeds every time you show up with consistency. You may not see the results right away, but the roots are growing beneath the surface. Keep showing up. Keep pushing forward. The breakthrough will come when most people would have already given up. This is not about being robotic or rigid. It's about having enough respect for your dreams to show up for them daily. It's about realizing that every day you neglect your growth is a day you strengthen your excuses. You have the power to become something greater, but only if you can be trusted with the process. Discipline is not punishment. It's a gift you give to your future self. There are two versions of you, the one that remains in cycles of procrastination and regret, and the one who takes action and becomes unstoppable. The gap between the two is consistency. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to fix everything. You just need to keep going. You'll figure it out as you go. You'll adapt, adjust, and grow stronger. But only if you keep moving. Build your day around your values, not your moods. Moods change, values don't. When your habits reflect your values, you build a life that feels right from the inside out. And when life feels right, you stop chasing things that never mattered in the first place. You stop comparing. You stop complaining. You start owning every part of your life. The world is filled with talented people who never reached their potential, not because they weren't good enough, but because they never learned to be consistent. Don't let that be your story. Be the one who shows up when it's hard. Be the one who sticks with it when it's uncomfortable. Be the one who proves to yourself that discipline is more powerful than motivation. Your habits are shaping you even when you're not thinking about them. That's why it's your responsibility to shape them first. Build them with intention. Reinforce them with action. Strengthen them with repetition. When you do that, you stop needing willpower. You stop relying on motivation. You wake up knowing exactly who you are and what needs to be done. The goal is not to feel excited every day. The goal is to become the kind of person who does what needs to be done, excited or not. That's how you build a life that compounds in value. That's how you become 10x better. Not in one giant leap, but in thousands of daily steps that seem small in the moment, but become unstoppable over time. You are not stuck. You are not lost. You are simply untrained in consistency. And the good news is, it's a skill you can build starting now. Don't wait for inspiration. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Build the habit today. Stick with it tomorrow. And when life tries to knock you off course, return to your rhythm. Return to your vision. Return to your process. Because the most powerful version of you is not created in one moment. It is built through daily commitment to actions that shape your mind, your character, and your future. This is how you grow. This is how you lead yourself. This is how you win. Not once, but every single day. And if you truly want to become unstoppable, then commit to your habits with everything you've got. Stay grounded in your process. Stay consistent in your efforts. And never forget, the greatest changes come from the smallest choices repeated without excuse. Start now. Start today. Make it so consistent that discipline becomes your identity. Make your life a reflection of what you do daily. That's the real transformation. That's how you become 10x better every day. Chapter 3. Break through your fears and push beyond limits. What if I told you that everything you've ever wanted in life is hiding on the other side of the fear you keep avoiding? The goals you keep postponing, the dreams you keep shrinking, the potential you've never fully unlocked, it's all trapped behind the walls you've built in your own mind. And unless you break those walls down, piece by piece, you'll live the rest of your life inside a prison built by fear, pretending it's comfort. Fear doesn't announce itself. It disguises itself as hesitation, as overthinking, as procrastination, as the endless excuses you whisper to yourself about why today isn't the right time. But deep down, you know what's happening. You're not stuck. You're scared. And that fear is robbing you of the life you were meant to live. Not because you're weak, but because no one ever taught you how to fight back against it. No one told you that the fear never goes away. You just get stronger than it. Think about it. Every time you backed away from something that mattered to you, every time you told yourself, maybe later, every time you lowered your standards to fit into someone else's comfort zone, fear won. And the problem with fear is that it doesn't just block your path, it steals your voice. It makes you doubt your worth. It convinces you that discomfort is dangerous. But discomfort is not your enemy. It's your signal. It's the doorway. And the moment you choose to walk through it, everything changes. You were not born with fear. You learned it. And anything learned can be unlearned. The problem is, we wait. We wait for fear to disappear. We wait for courage to magically show up. But courage doesn't come before the action. It comes after. It comes from doing the hard thing scared. From standing in front of your doubt and doing it anyway. You don't need confidence to begin. You need action. You need to take the first step while your voice is shaking and your hands are trembling. That's real power. Most people think fear is a sign to stop. But the truth is, fear is just a compass pointing to where the growth is. If something scares you, that's exactly where you need to go. Because growth doesn't happen in the safety of routine. It happens when you push your mind and body beyond what they believe they can handle. That's where resilience is born. That's where self-respect is built. That's where breakthroughs begin. Let me ask you something. What is fear keeping you from right now? Is it the conversation you've been avoiding? The business you haven't started? The move you've been dreaming about, but keep postponing? Whatever it is, the cost of staying in fear is higher than the cost of facing it. Because while fear keeps you comfortable, it also keeps you average. And you weren't born to be average. You were born to rise, to lead, to set fire to your limitations and rebuild yourself stronger. No one is coming to save you from your fears. That's your job. And the beautiful part is, you can do it. Right now. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a brave decision. One moment where you stop negotiating with your limits and start confronting them. One decision to speak up when you're afraid. To move forward when it's uncomfortable. To trust your power more than you trust your fear. That one decision is the beginning of everything. You don't break through fear by thinking about it. You break through by acting in spite of it. Fear feeds on hesitation. It grows in silence. But the moment you challenge it with action, it starts to lose power. Every step you take into discomfort trains your brain to stop seeing it as danger. Every risk you take teaches you that failure won't destroy you. And every time you stand up instead of backing down, you become a little more free. Fear loves your comfort zone. It thrives in routine, in excuses, in the illusion of safety. But if you want to build a life that matters, you've got to be willing to leave that zone behind. It won't be easy. It'll test you. It'll stretch you. But it will also wake you up. It will introduce you to parts of yourself that you've never met. The bold, the brave, the relentless version of you that's been buried under fear for far too long. Here's the truth most people avoid: fear never fully disappears. And it's not supposed to. It's not something you overcome once and for all. It's something you learn to dance with. You make fear your companion, not your commander. You acknowledge it, but you don't obey it. You listen to it, but you don't let it lead. That's the secret to power. Not fearlessness, but fear mastery. Think back to every time you grew in life. It didn't happen in ease. It happened in moments of uncertainty. In times when you felt exposed, stretched or vulnerable. But you survived those moments. And now you're here, still breathing, still capable, still evolving. Let that remind you that fear may scream, but it doesn't have the final word. You do. Always. The limits you feel are not physical. They're psychological. You're not too old. You're not too late. You're not underqualified. You've just let fear convince you of a false story. And it's time to rewrite that story. Not with words but with action. Show yourself who you really are by doing the things that scare you. Push beyond what feels safe. That's how you discover your real strength, not in retreat, but in resistance. The people you admire, the ones who inspire you, they didn't start without fear. They started, despite it. They doubted themselves. They failed. They got rejected. But they kept going. That's the difference. They didn't let fear become a full stop. They made it a comma, a pause, a place to regroup and push harder. That's how you win, by staying in the fight when it would be easier to walk away. You have to be willing to bet on yourself, to face uncertainty without guarantees, to step into the unknown, knowing that fear will walk beside you, but you don't have to let it lead. Because when you lead with courage, fear becomes irrelevant. It shrinks, it weakens, and eventually it bows to your will. But you must take the first step. You must decide that you want your growth more than you want your comfort. Stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start asking, "What if I succeed?" Because fear always imagines the worst. It never tells the full story. It doesn't remind you of how strong you are, how resourceful, how resilient. It only shows you the pain. But when you push through, when you take action, you realize that fear was just a shadow, not a wall, and you were always capable of walking right through it. You will never reach your true potential until you make fear your training partner. Let it show you your weak spots. Let it challenge your excuses. Let it expose what you need to face. Because every fear you break through adds a new layer of confidence, a new level of strength. That's how you become unshakable, not by avoiding discomfort, but by choosing it until it no longer controls you. Don't wait for life to get easier. Get stronger. Don't wait for fear to vanish. Get louder than it. Don't wait for the perfect time. Make right now the moment you start. Because fear thrives in delay, and your destiny is being held hostage by hesitation. But if you act now, if you push forward while your knees are shaking, you will awaken a force inside you that fear cannot touch. You have a decision to make. You can keep living a life half-built, because fear told you to stay small, or you can step into your power, face your fears head-on, and build something that reflects the strength buried deep inside you. You are not broken. You are not fragile. You are powerful beyond measure. And it's time you remembered that. Let today be the day you stop letting fear write your story. Let this moment be the beginning of a new chapter, one where you act boldly, speak clearly, and move forward with fire in your heart. You're not here to survive your fears. You're here to outgrow them, to leave them behind like dead skin, and walk into a life so bold, so full, so unstoppable, that the old you wouldn't even recognize it. If you feel something stirring inside you right now, that's your soul waking up. That's your potential rising. Don't ignore it. Don't silence it. Move, speak, act. Break the pattern. Face the fear. And show the world what happens when you stop hiding and start rising. Because this isn't just about one decision. This is about building a life that makes fear irrelevant. So here's your call to action. Do the thing you've been avoiding. Say the words you've been holding in. Take the risk that's been on your heart for too long. And don't do it tomorrow. Do it now. Fear has held the pen long enough. Take it back. Rewrite your life. And when fear knocks, let it see that you're not afraid anymore. You're ready. And you're coming for everything it tried to keep from you. Chapter 4. Prioritize self-discipline and eliminate distractions every day. There is a version of you that could have already built the life you dream about, But every day you choose distractions instead of discipline, comfort instead of growth, and delay instead of action. And that's the only reason you're not there yet. Most people aren't held back by a lack of talent, they're trapped by a lack of focus. Every time you pick up your phone out of habit, scroll through someone else's life, binge another episode, or engage in endless small talk that leads nowhere, you're trading your destiny for temporary stimulation. And over time, that trade becomes your identity. But the truth is, you're not undisciplined, you're just too comfortable living with distractions. You've normalized the noise so much that silence feels strange, productivity feels foreign, and your vision feels like a fantasy because you haven't created the environment that forces it into reality. You've got to wake up, because life is moving, whether you focus or not. Time isn't slowing down because you're not ready, and opportunities aren't going to wait for you to finish one more scroll or one more excuse. The world doesn't reward potential, it rewards execution. And the only way you execute consistently is by mastering self-discipline, day by day, choice by choice. Nobody's coming to rescue you from your distractions. No app, no alarm, no coach can give you the kind of clarity that comes from taking ownership. That's on you. And the first step is brutal honesty. What are you choosing every single day that weakens your momentum? What habits are you protecting that are stealing your future? Because if you can't control what you focus on, you can't control your life. Simple. Discipline isn't about punishment. It's not about suffering. It's about freedom. When you become disciplined, you become dangerous, not to others, but to your own limitations. You stop being reactive. You stop being at the mercy of everything around you. You stop letting everyone else's urgency become your emergency. You start moving with intent, with structure, with clarity. You start choosing what matters instead of letting life choose for you. People romanticize the grind, the hustle, the motivation. But the truth is, none of that matters if your mind is distracted. If you can't sit still and do deep work without reaching for a dopamine hit. If you can't stick to the basics long enough to let them compound into something extraordinary. The foundation of greatness is boring. It's repetitive. It's lonely. But that's where your edge is born, when you're willing to do what others avoid. The phone in your hand is not harmless. It's hijacking your attention, fragmenting your thoughts, and slowly killing your ability to concentrate. And the scariest part is, most people don't even realize it. They think they're just taking a break, when in reality, they're breaking their focus, breaking their rhythm, breaking their drive. And over time, that habit turns them into someone who never finishes what they start. You've got to build systems. You've got to create boundaries so tight that distraction suffocates. This is not about discipline in theory. It's about action. You eliminate distractions by setting non-negotiables. Not maybe, not I'll try. It's this gets done no matter what. You wake up and decide that your goals are more important than your impulses. You delete what weakens you. You block what derails you. You simplify what clutters you. And then you replace distraction with purpose. You replace scrolling with studying, gossip with growth, comfort with challenge. That's how transformation happens, not by inspiration, but by elimination. Get rid of what makes you weak, and your natural strength will rise. You don't need more willpower. You need fewer temptations. You don't need motivation every day. You need clarity on what matters most. Discipline gives you clarity. Clarity gives you power. Power gives you progress. And progress, even slow progress, rewires your brain to trust yourself again. The reason most people feel lost isn't because they don't know what to do. It's because they've broken so many promises to themselves that they've stopped believing their own words. You say you'll change, you say you'll commit, you say you'll focus, but your actions betray you, and that internal disconnect kills your confidence. Fix it by doing what you said you would do, even if it's small, even if no one's watching, especially when no one's watching, because self-discipline isn't about showing off, it's about showing up for yourself. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when it's boring, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you don't feel like it. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you start to win. You've got to become the kind of person who respects their time so much that wasting it becomes painful. You've got to love your future so much that sacrificing your attention feels like a betrayal. Every moment matters. Every choice counts. The world is full of people who had potential but lost it to distraction. Don't be one of them. Think of your energy like a currency. Every notification you check, every app you open, every meaningless conversation you entertain, it all costs you something. And if you spend your energy on nonsense, you'll never have enough left for what actually matters. You can't build an extraordinary life with ordinary focus. You need extreme discipline to get extreme results. Stop trying to manage time and start managing attention. Time is fixed. Attention is fluid. You can spend an hour pretending to work while checking your phone every 5 minutes. Or you can lock in for 25 minutes and do more than most people do in a whole afternoon. That's the power of presence. That's what self-discipline creates. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters better, deeper, and without compromise. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you build momentum, and momentum is a force. Once it kicks in, everything gets easier. Decisions get simpler, actions get smoother, results come faster, but you've got to earn it. You've got to prove to yourself that you can delay gratification, that you can stay locked in, that you can tune out the noise and tune into your mission. No one becomes unstoppable by accident. It's a choice. It's waking up early when you want to sleep in. It's turning off your phone when your mind craves escape. It's saying no to what's easy so you can say yes to what's right. It's not fun. It's not glamorous. But it's the reason why some people win and others watch. You've been given time. You've been given talent. You've been given the tools. But if you don't master your focus, none of it will matter. The clock keeps ticking. Your distractions aren't waiting. They're multiplying. They're evolving. They're learning how to hook you better, faster, deeper. And the only way to win this war is to fight back harder, with clarity, with routine, with purpose. Discipline is how you regain control of your life. Not all at once, but one habit at a time. Start by reclaiming your morning. Put your phone across the room. Write down your goals. Move your body. Do the hard thing first. Then guard your afternoon. Set timers. Work in silence. Eliminate multitasking. Then reclaim your night. Reflect. Unplug. Rest with intention. That's how you build a rhythm that sustains greatness. You don't need more hacks. You need consistency. You don't need to feel ready. You need to act regardless. Most people won't do it. They'll keep drifting, hoping something changes. But nothing changes until you change. Nothing sharpens until you cut away the unnecessary. And nothing extraordinary gets built with average focus. You've got one life. Don't waste it distracted. Don't let your attention be stolen by things that don't serve you. Don't let the chaos of the world drown out the whisper of your potential. You know what you need to do. You've always known. The only question is, will you finally do it? If this message hits something deep inside you, don't just feel it. Act on it. Turn this energy into a habit. Turn this realization into a lifestyle. Discipline is not just the path to success. It is the gatekeeper of self-respect. And when you build your life on discipline, you no longer need motivation. You don't need hype. You don't even need permission. You just need a reason. So find your reason. Find the fire that wakes you up and makes distraction feel like poison. Then commit fully, fiercely, daily. And never forget, the more disciplined you are, the freer you become. Start now, not tomorrow, not next week. Right now, take control of your attention. Eliminate what weakens you and build a life so focused that distractions can't survive in your presence. That's your edge. That's your power. And it's time you lived by it. Chapter 5. Cultivate a growth mindset by embracing challenges daily. The only thing standing between the life you have and the life you want is your relationship with difficulty, because if you keep running from challenges, you'll spend your entire life running from growth. Let that sink in. The life you dream of isn't locked behind luck, privilege, or timing. It's locked behind discomfort. It's guarded by hard moments, steep learning curves, and daily adversity. But most people never get past the gate because they believe struggle means something's wrong. They think failure is a signal to quit. They think not being good at something right away means they never will be. And that mindset quietly destroys more potential than any outside force ever could. You're not stuck because of your circumstances. You're stuck because of how you respond when things get tough. When you hit a wall, do you see it as a dead end or a doorway? When you fail, do you take it personally or use it to adjust your strategy? Every challenge you face is a test, not of your intelligence, not of your talent, but of your perspective. And the people who win long-term aren't the ones who avoid difficulty. They're the ones who reshape their minds to grow through it. You were never meant to stay the same. You were built to evolve, and evolution doesn't happen when life is easy. It happens when you're pressed, pushed, and stretched beyond your limits. That's where your next level lives. It's buried inside the moments you want to escape. And the only way to reach it is to stop fearing the hard stuff and start inviting it into your life daily. Think about it. Growth doesn't come from staying comfortable. It doesn't come from repeating the same routine in the same safe zone, day after day. It comes from embracing things you're not good at yet, taking on problems you haven't solved before, exposing yourself to feedback that stings, and still showing up. Not once, not twice, but consistently, relentlessly, unapologetically. That's how mental muscles are built, by training them under resistance. You don't build confidence by waiting until you're certain. You build it by showing up while you're unsure, and proving to yourself that fear isn't fatal. You build belief by taking action, failing, learning, and trying again. That's the growth mindset. It's not just optimism. It's not about being naive. It's about choosing to see every obstacle as an opportunity to evolve. And no, it's not easy. You're going to feel like giving up. You're going to hear that voice in your head that tells you it's not worth it, that you're not good enough, that you'll never make it. But here's the truth, that voice doesn't go away. You just stop believing it. Because every time you act in spite of it, every time you walk through fear instead of running from it, that voice loses power. You start proving to yourself that you're stronger than your doubts. Stop trying to be perfect. Start trying to grow. Stop waiting for the right conditions. Start using what you've got. Stop looking at challenges like enemies and start treating them like allies. The hard thing is the way. That's the secret most people miss. The people you admire, the ones who inspire you, they didn't get there by taking the easy path. They made the hard path their home. And the beautiful thing about challenges is they expose your weaknesses, not to shame you, but to show you exactly where to grow. You can't fix what you don't face. So if you're afraid to speak up, speak more. If you're insecure about your skills, practice more. If you're avoiding risk, step into it. Every weakness can be transformed, but only if you're willing to face it with courage instead of fear. Don't just chase progress when it's convenient. Build the habit of challenge into your daily life. Wake up and ask yourself, what can I do today that stretches me? It might be something small, taking initiative, starting a difficult conversation, learning something that intimidates you. But when you stack those daily wins, those micro acts of courage, they compound into unstoppable growth. One challenge at a time, you become the person you were meant to be. The world doesn't reward the people who avoid failure. It rewards the people who refuse to be defined by it. You will fall. You will mess up. You will get rejected. But none of that can stop you unless you stop yourself. What most people call failure is really feedback. It's the world giving you data on how to improve. And when you stop taking that personally, you stop being fragile. You stop breaking under pressure. You become resilient, adaptable, and powerful. A fixed mindset says, I'm not good at this. A growth mindset says, I'm not good at this yet. One is a dead end. The other is a beginning. And the one you choose every day determines whether you evolve or stay stuck. Start telling yourself the truth. You're capable of more than you think, but you'll never access that potential if you refuse to stretch yourself. Nobody becomes great by accident. They become great by leaning into discomfort while others run from it. They put themselves in positions that scare them. They pursue things that might not work. They take hits, learn lessons, and keep going. They see themselves as students, not finished products. And that mindset is what makes them unstoppable. Because while others wait for permission, they create progress. Start looking at your life through a different lens. What are you avoiding? Because it feels hard. What have you convinced yourself you're not ready for? Those are the exact places you need to go. Not next year. Not someday. Now. Because the longer you wait, the more comfortable you become with stagnation. And comfort is a killer. It convinces you that settling is safer, when in reality it's just slower death. If you want to change your life, change your relationship with challenge. Get addicted to getting better. Celebrate growth, not perfection. Track progress, not praise. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not who someone else is today. And make every single day a training ground for your next level. That's how transformation happens. Not in giant leaps, but in daily confrontations with what scares you. Growth is not a destination. It's a lifestyle. It's how you move through the world. It's how you face adversity. It's how you handle pressure. And it's how you respond when nothing goes as planned. Every day gives you a chance to either evolve or repeat. Choose evolution. Choose discomfort. Choose the path that stretches you, not the one that soothes you. You're never too late. You're never too far behind. But you have to start now. You have to commit to getting uncomfortable every single day. You have to rewire your mind to stop craving ease and start craving evolution. That's what makes the difference between someone who wishes for success and someone who creates it. Between someone who dreams of growth and someone who lives it. Right now your mind is either working for you or against you. It's either expanding through challenge or shrinking through avoidance. And the scariest thing is, you may not even realize it. That's why this matters. Because the moment you shift into a growth mindset, everything changes. Failure becomes feedback. Criticism becomes fuel. Pressure becomes power. And difficulty becomes your invitation to rise. This is your wake-up call. Stop avoiding the uncomfortable. Stop waiting for confidence. Stop expecting growth without effort. Lean into the hard stuff. Chase the challenge. Face your fear. And know that every time you do, you're building the version of you who will look back one day and say, that was the moment everything changed. If this message stirred something inside you, then don't ignore it. Act on it. Make today the first day you stopped running from challenge and started running toward growth. Don't let comfort steal your potential. Don't let fear keep you from your power. You are capable of more, so much more. But you have to decide right now that growth is your daily standard. So what challenge will you embrace today? What fear will you face? What weakness will you train? Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Move. Stretch. Rise. Become. And never forget, greatness isn't found in what's easy. It's earned through daily, deliberate, disciplined effort to grow, no matter what. Start today. Start now. Become who you were born to be. Chapter 6. Build resilience by handling failure and bouncing back stronger. The truth is, failure isn't the end. It's the beginning of who you're meant to become. Most people let failure define them. They fall once, and they stay down. They mess up, and they start questioning everything. Their confidence evaporates, their momentum dies, and they begin to see themselves as broken. But what if you've got it backwards? What if failure isn't the enemy? What if failure is the forge? The place where your strength, your grit, your real identity is built, piece by piece, blow by blow. No one gets through life without being knocked down. But not everyone gets back up. And that's the difference between someone who lives a life of regret and someone who builds a legacy. It's not how many times you fall. It's what you do after. It's who you become in the aftermath. That's where resilience is born, in the tension, in the heartbreak, in the pain you didn't ask for but had to feel anyway. You need to hear this. Failing doesn't make you weak. Staying down does. Real power isn't avoiding defeat. It's standing up when it would have been easier to quit. It's pushing forward when no one's watching. It's deciding, even when everything's gone wrong, that you still have more to give. That mindset, that refusal to give up on yourself, is what separates survivors from those who rise. Some of the strongest people you'll ever meet have been through the kind of failures that could have destroyed them. But they used every fall as fuel. They didn't just survive the storm. They learned how to dance in the middle of it. They didn't just take the pain. They turned it into purpose. And that's what you must do too. Don't wait for life to get easier. Learn how to get stronger. You see, resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, one battle at a time. Every setback is an opportunity to practice strength. Every rejection is a test of your self-worth. Every failure is a mirror. It shows you who you are when nothing goes your way. And the more you face that mirror, the more unshakable you become. Stop thinking you're broken because you're struggling. You're not broken, you're human. And part of being human is failing. Big, ugly, painful failures that test your very soul. That's not the end of your story. It's the moment where your real story begins. You don't get stronger by avoiding hardship. You get stronger by facing it, by embracing it, by rising even when you feel empty inside. Pain has a purpose if you refuse to waste it. And most people waste it. They numb it. They run from it. They bury it under distractions. But the people who transform their lives are the ones who face their failures with open eyes and open hearts. They ask, what can I learn? Who can I become? How can I use this to level up? Don't pretend you haven't failed. Own it. Own the heartbreak. Own the rejection. Own the mess. Because until you take responsibility for what's happened, you'll never regain your power. Your strength lives in your ability to respond, not in your ability to control. You can't undo the past, but you can choose how you move forward. And that choice defines your future more than any mistake ever will. Here's the part no one tells you: you can rebuild from rock bottom. You can rise after your worst day. You can bounce back from a failure so deep it felt like the end. But only if you stop feeding the belief that you're not enough. You are enough. You've always been enough. You just forgot it the moment things didn't go your way. It's time to remember who you are. Not just when you're winning, but when everything falls apart. Because that's the real test. When life strips you down, when nothing's working, when you're standing in the wreckage with nothing but your will, that's when you discover your true self. And if you can keep moving forward in that moment, there is nothing life can throw at you that you can't handle. Think back to the last time you failed. Really think about it. What did it teach you? What part of yourself did it reveal? And more importantly, what did you believe about yourself after it happened? Because failure isn't just about what goes wrong. It's about the meaning you attach to it. If you see failure as proof you're not capable, you'll stay stuck. But if you see it as training, if you see it as feedback, you'll become invincible. Resilience doesn't mean you don't feel pain. It means you refuse to be owned by it. It means you cry, you bleed, you doubt, but you don't stop. You take the pain, and you build something with it. A mindset, a character, a life that no failure can erase. You become so strong from within that no external setback can break you. That's what this is about. It's not about pretending everything's fine. It's about refusing to let failure shrink you. It's about rising when you have every excuse to stay down. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle anything, not because you're fearless, but because you've trained yourself to face fear with action. You've got to start seeing your struggles as strength training. Every time life knocks you off your feet, you've got a decision to make. Do I stay down, or do I rise again? Smarter, wiser, tougher. Because make no mistake, failure will keep showing up. Disappointment is part of the process. But so is breakthrough. So is transformation. And that only happens when you keep showing up after it all goes wrong. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to start again. This is it. This is your moment. No matter how many times you've failed, you're still in the game. You still have the ability to shift your story. But you have to stop telling yourself that failure defines you. It doesn't. What defines you is what you do next. Do you give up, or do you grow up? Do you retreat, or do you rebuild? Do you let fear decide your fate, or do you step forward with courage, even if your knees are shaking? The answers to these questions will shape everything, because in the end it's not talent, it's not luck, it's not opportunity, it's resilience that separates winners from quitters. You don't need more time. You don't need more motivation. You need to make a decision, right here, right now, that no matter how hard it gets, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how many times you've been knocked down, you will rise, you will fight, you will grow, because you were never meant to stay in the dirt. You were born to rise through it. Use this moment, let this message wake something up in you. You've been doubting yourself too long. You've been carrying your past like a curse. It's time to drop it. It's time to realize that your failures didn't break you. They revealed you. They showed you where you needed to grow. They gave you the exact pain that would strengthen your future. And now you get to choose what you do with it. Let your scars be your story, not your shame. Let your pain become your platform. Let your setbacks fuel your comeback. Because this is what champions do. They fall and they rise again and again, until there's nothing left but truth, strength and power. If this hits something deep in you, don't just sit with it. Act. Get up. Write your next chapter. Say to yourself, I may have fallen, but I'm not done. Because the world isn't waiting for the perfect version of you. It's waiting for the resilient one. The one who gets back up. The one who doesn't quit. the one who turns every failure into fire. This is your comeback. Make it count. Chapter 7. Focus on small incremental progress toward your goals daily. You don't have to change your whole life today, but you do have to take one small step right now. Every day you wait for the perfect plan, the perfect mood, or the perfect timing, you fall deeper into the illusion that progress is supposed to feel massive. It's not. Progress is built quietly, in the small, unseen efforts, in the tiny wins that compound when no one's watching. Most people never reach their goals because they keep chasing intensity instead of consistency. They want transformation overnight, but they ignore the real secret. It's not what you do once, it's what you do daily. We live in a world addicted to results. You're told to dream big, aim high, and go all in. But no one talks about the grind between the breakthroughs. No one celebrates the tiny steps, the quiet progress, the effort it takes to show up when motivation is gone. But that's where the real change lives. That's where discipline is forged, in the boring, unglamorous repetitions. The daily decision to do something, even when it feels like it's not enough. Think about this. Every major achievement you admire was built on thousands of ordinary days. One workout doesn't change your body. One study session doesn't make you a genius. One day of effort won't rewrite your identity. But stack those days, stack those hours, and suddenly the impossible becomes inevitable. You didn't need to do something massive. You just needed to keep going when it was tempting to stop. You don't need to run the whole marathon today. Just take the first step, and then take the next. Let the momentum carry you. Let progress become your fuel. Most people get overwhelmed because they look too far ahead. They stare at the finish line and feel paralyzed by how far they still have to go. But here's the truth. You don't need to see the whole path. You just need to move forward, inch by inch, moment by moment. Because if you do that long enough, one day you'll look back and realize you're not the same person who started. The power of small progress is that it's always within reach. You might not feel strong today, but you can write one sentence. You might feel lost, but you can make one healthy choice. You might be exhausted, but you can get up and try. And those little actions, they matter more than you know. They shape your habits. They strengthen your mindset. They tell your future self, I didn't give up when it was hard. Most people sabotage themselves, not because they lack desire, but because they lack patience. They want to be great, but they're not willing to be average for a while. They want results without repetition. They want excellence without effort. But greatness grows out of doing the small things, especially when they feel insignificant. That's the test. Can you stay committed when the progress is invisible? If you want a better life, you don't need a miracle. You need a rhythm, a pace, a routine that brings you closer to your goals every single day. Because success doesn't happen in a single moment. It happens in the build-up, in the decision to keep showing up, even when the results aren't instant, even when no one claps for you, even when your mind screams, what's the point? Here's the point. You're building something real, something powerful. Every time you stay disciplined, every time you push a little harder, you're stacking proof that you can trust yourself. And that self-trust, it changes everything. It quiets doubt. It silences excuses. It creates momentum that can't be stopped. Stop obsessing over how far you have to go. Start focusing on how far you've come. You used to talk about doing this. Now you're doing it. You used to dream of changing. Now you're becoming someone new. Maybe it's not fast. Maybe it's not flashy. But it's happening. And if you stay with it, If you keep choosing action over avoidance, the results will come. This is what most people don't understand about growth. It's not a straight line. It's not a highlight reel. It's a war between who you are and who you're becoming. Some days you'll win. Some days you'll fall short. But as long as you keep showing up, you're winning the war. Because real growth happens when you keep going. Even when it feels like you're not moving at all. You're not doing this for applause. You're doing it because you made a promise to yourself. You said, I won't quit this time. I won't ghost on my goals. I won't keep starting over. And that promise, it's sacred. Keep it. Honor it. Protect it like your life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. Your future depends on what you do daily, not occasionally. You don't have to fix everything today. Just fix one thing. Just move one step closer. Just do one task that your future self will thank you for. And then repeat that tomorrow. And the next day. And the next. That's how you rewrite your story. Not with massive action, but with micro victories. The real flex is showing up on the days you don't feel like it. The real power is in refusing to quit. Just because it's not easy. You weren't built for comfort. You were built to evolve, and evolution is messy. It's painful. It's frustrating. But it's worth it. Because every ounce of struggle makes the finish line sweeter. So don't wait for motivation. Build systems. Create habits. Stack wins. Make progress so small that it's impossible to fail. Read one page. Take one walk. Write one idea. Meditate for 1 minute. Make the floor so low that you always step over it. Because once you're in motion, staying in motion gets easier. And don't measure progress by how fast you're moving. Measure it by the fact that you are moving. Measure it by the fact that you didn't give in to the voice that said, skip today. That voice will never go away. But it gets quieter every time you push through. Every time you act in spite of it. You'll never regret a day you gave effort. But you'll regret every day you stayed stuck in your head. Thinking about starting. Thinking about changing. Thinking about who you could be, while doing nothing to become it. Stop thinking. Start moving. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to begin. If you're overwhelmed, break it down. Set goals so small they seem ridiculous. Then hit them, over and over. Because momentum loves simplicity. And consistency beats intensity. Every time, burnout happens when you try to do too much. Too fast. But progress, real sustainable progress, that happens when you play the long game. When you build a foundation brick by brick. Some days you'll feel proud. Some days you'll feel like quitting. But the trick is to never miss twice. One off day doesn't destroy you. Quitting does. Don't make perfection the goal. Make progress the mission. Perfection paralyzes. Progress liberates. You are capable of so much more than you think, but you'll never discover it all at once. You'll only find it by walking the path, one step at a time. Every small act of discipline compounds. Every consistent effort builds momentum. Every tiny improvement stacks into transformation. You don't see it at first. Then one day, the mirror reflects someone different, someone stronger, someone unrecognizable, and you'll realize it wasn't one big moment that changed everything. It was thousands of small ones. Quiet, uncelebrated, relentless. So keep going. Keep building. Keep proving to yourself that you won't abandon your dreams just because they take time. This journey you're on, it's worth every effort, every sacrifice, every delay. Just don't stop. Because what you want, it's waiting on the other side of your discipline. If this message reached something deep inside you, Don't waste it. Don't scroll away. Don't go back to who you were before you heard this. Do something. Start small. Start now. And never look back. Because you're not here to stay the same. You're here to evolve day by day. Step by step, moment by moment, until the life you want is no longer a vision, but a reality. Chapter 8. Invest in your physical health to fuel your success. If your body breaks down, your dreams collapse with it. We live in a time where ambition is celebrated, but physical self-neglect is quietly killing it. You hustle. You grind. You build your business, chase your vision, juggle the chaos, but beneath all that, there's one truth no one wants to admit. You are only as powerful as your energy allows you to be. And that energy, it comes from your body. If you don't take care of it, everything else falls apart. Your mind slows down. Your drive weakens. Your confidence fades. And worst of all, you become a prisoner in your own skin. What's the point of working hard if you're always tired? What's the point of success if you can't even enjoy it because your body is breaking down? You weren't designed to live in survival mode. You were built to thrive. But you can't thrive when you're running on caffeine, sugar, and stress. You can't think clearly when your brain is fogged from processed food and poor sleep. You can't lead, build, or grow when your body is inflamed, your joints ache, and your breath is shallow from inactivity. This isn't about vanity. This isn't about having six-pack abs or fitting into a certain size. This is about energy. This is about strength. This is about having the physical foundation to carry the weight of your dreams. Because your body isn't separate from your goals. It fuels them. And when you ignore that truth, you burn out. You crash. You start showing up at 50% wondering why you can't perform like you're at 100%. Ask yourself, what would your life look like if your body was strong, pain-free, and energized? What could you build, lead, or execute if your mind was sharp and your body supported your ambition every single day? You can't separate the vessel from the mission. The stronger your body, the more resilient your mind. The clearer your thoughts, the bolder your actions. But that strength doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you decide that your health is non-negotiable. You've been taught to chase money, success, influence, but no one taught you to protect your sleep. No one showed you how to eat for clarity, how to train for resilience, or how to breathe for focus. They told you to work late, skip meals, push through exhaustion like it was some badge of honor. But there's nothing noble about slowly killing yourself for success. True power comes from alignment. When your physical body, your mental clarity, and your emotional stability are in sync, that's when you become unstoppable. You don't have to become a fitness model. You just have to move. You just have to choose food that nourishes instead of numbs. You just have to treat your body like the vehicle it is, a machine that when properly maintained will take you anywhere you want to go. And when you do that, when you fuel yourself right, everything changes. Your mood improves. Your focus sharpens. Your productivity doubles. Your self-respect skyrockets. You look in the mirror and see someone who values themselves enough to invest in their well-being. Let me tell you the truth, no one else will success without health is failure in disguise. Because what good is building a life you can't fully live? What good is achieving the dream if you're constantly fatigued, mentally scattered, or physically uncomfortable? You're not lazy. You're exhausted. And you're exhausted because your body has been whispering for help, and you've been too busy to listen. It starts with one choice. Wake up earlier. Drink more water. Move your body with intention. Cut out one thing that's draining you. Eat for fuel, not just flavor. Sleep like your future depends on it, because it does. And if you're struggling to start small. Go for a walk. Stretch for 5 minutes. Replace one processed meal with something whole. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to build momentum. Your habits either serve your energy or sabotage it, and you know exactly which ones are killing your vitality. It's not a mystery. You feel it in your bones, in the afternoon crashes, in the stiffness in your back, in the brain fog that won't lift, in the restless sleep. But you don't have to stay there. You can decide today to reclaim your energy, to make health your new standard. Not because you want to look a certain way, but because you want to live a certain way. Don't lie to yourself. You know the difference between surviving and thriving. And right now, you're not operating at your highest potential. Not because you lack ambition, but because your body can't keep up with it. Fix that, and you unlock a version of yourself you haven't even met yet. A version that doesn't need caffeine to function. A version that wakes up clear-headed, attacks the day, and goes to sleep fulfilled. A version that feels strong, capable, grounded. That version isn't far away. It's built through repetition, through routine, through discipline. Not punishment, discipline. The kind of self-respect that says, I don't abuse my body. I honor it. Because when you treat your body like it matters, everything else starts to matter more too. Your time, your focus, your boundaries, your goals. You stop tolerating anything that drains you, because you've tasted what it feels like to operate at full power. And once you taste that feeling, you never go back. This isn't about being perfect. This is about making progress. One workout, one meal, one choice at a time. Because success isn't just in the doing, it's in the recovery. It's in how you fuel yourself, how you sleep, how you breathe. You can't run a marathon with a broken engine. You can't lead others if you can't even lead your body. So lead it, teach it, strengthen it, and watch how everything else in your life starts rising to meet you. You've been carrying stress in your shoulders, anxiety in your gut, and regret in your joints. It's time to release that, to rebuild, to treat your health like the foundation it truly is. Your body is your first home, your only home. Don't let it fall apart while you build everything else. Invest in it like your future depends on it, because it does. No more excuses. No more I don't have time. You make time for what matters. And your health, that's not a luxury, it's a necessity. Without it you have nothing. No energy, no stamina, no clarity, no edge. The world is full of people who sacrifice their body for their career, only to spend their later years using their money to buy back their health. Don't become one of them. Do it differently. Build your health and your success at the same time. And if you're waiting for the right moment to start, it's this one. Not tomorrow, not next Monday. Right now. Drink the water. Go for the walk. Stretch. Put the phone down. Breathe deeper. Eat with intention. Sleep with purpose. Move with gratitude. You don't have to change everything, but you have to start something. Because that something can become everything. You're not just building a career, you're building a life. And a life without physical vitality is like a luxury car with no engine. It looks good on the outside, but it won't take you anywhere. So don't just chase success. Chase strength. Chase energy. Chase the version of you who can carry your mission for decades, not just years. Longevity isn't sexy, but it's freedom. It's legacy. Your goals need fuel. Your ambition needs support. Your mind needs a healthy body to thrive in. Don't wait until you're burnt out to learn this. Don't wait until a health scare wakes you up. Wake up now. Get ahead of the pain. Get ahead of the fatigue. Get ahead of the breakdown. Take your power back by taking care of the body that holds it. If this message shook you, good. Let it. Let it sink into the part of you that knows it's time, and then do something about it. Don't keep wishing for energy. Build it. Don't keep hoping for focus. Create it. Don't keep sacrificing your body for success. Make your body part of the success. And when people ask what changed, you'll look them in the eye and say, I stopped treating my health like a side note. I made it the foundation, and everything else followed. Now go do what most won't, because the future you deserves a body that can carry greatness. Chapter 9. Master emotional control and respond to stress effectively. The moment you lose control of your emotions, you lose control of your life. Emotions are powerful forces that can either propel you forward or hold you back. Every day, you face a barrage of stress, conflict, disappointment, and frustration, and how you respond determines whether you thrive or fall apart. The truth is, you can't control everything that happens to you, but you can absolutely control how you respond. Emotional mastery isn't a gift. It's a skill that can be developed, refined, and sharpened through practice. And today, it starts with the decision to master it. How often have you found yourself spiraling when things don't go your way? How many times has stress clouded your judgment, led you to say things you didn't mean, or caused you to act in ways you later regretted? Maybe it's a missed opportunity, a difficult conversation, or the overwhelming weight of life's pressures. Whatever the trigger, when your emotions take the wheel, you stop thinking logically, stop seeing possibilities, and let your instincts take over, instincts that are often rooted in fear, anger, or insecurity. But here's the truth that can set you free. Emotional control is not about suppressing your feelings. It's about choosing your response, even when the storm is raging around you. It's about stepping back, breathing deeply, and reclaiming your power in those critical moments of stress and emotion. Imagine this: you're in the middle of a high-pressure situation, maybe a tough meeting at work, or a confrontation with a loved one. In the past, you might have felt your heart racing, your palms sweating, your thoughts becoming clouded. You might have snapped back with defensiveness, or let the situation consume you. But now, because you've trained your mind to respond differently, you remain calm. You don't let your emotions dictate your actions. Instead, you pause, take a deep breath, and think before you respond. You're no longer a slave to your feelings, you're the master of them. That's emotional control, that's strength. And that's the difference between reacting out of fear or frustration and responding from a place of calm confidence. We all experience stress, but how we deal with it makes all the difference. Stress doesn't have to break you. It doesn't have to lead to burnout. When you develop emotional control, stress becomes something you can work with, not something that controls you. When you face life's challenges with a calm and clear mind, you unlock your ability to think critically, make better decisions, and move through obstacles without being consumed by them. Let's face it, the world is unpredictable. Challenges, setbacks, and conflict are a part of life. You will encounter people who try to push your buttons, deadlines that pressure you, and circumstances that seem out of your control. But in those moments, you have a choice: to allow your emotions to spiral and take over, or to take a step back, collect yourself, and respond with intention. The more you practice this, the stronger you get. The more you hone your emotional control, the more resilient you become. And that resilience is your secret weapon for success. You might think that emotional control means being cold or indifferent, but that's far from the truth. In fact, True emotional control means being fully aware of your feelings without letting them control you. It's about feeling your emotions without being overwhelmed by them. It's about acknowledging anger or frustration when it arises, but not letting those emotions dictate your actions. It's about understanding your triggers, recognizing your emotional patterns, and developing the tools to respond with clarity and grace. It's easy to be reactive, to let the stress and pressures of life push you to a breaking point. It's easy to lash out, shut down, or run away. But none of those reactions will move you forward. They only keep you stuck. Emotional control requires a different mindset, a mindset that chooses growth over fear, clarity over chaos, and peace over panic. How do you develop emotional control? It starts with mindfulness. The first step in mastering your emotions is simply becoming aware of them. When you're in the midst of a stressful situation, pause for a moment, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? This simple act of self-awareness can break the emotional cycle and give you the space to choose your response, rather than letting your emotions decide for you. Next, you must practice reframing. Stress and adversity are inevitable, but how you perceive them can change everything. Instead of seeing obstacles as insurmountable challenges, start viewing them as opportunities for growth. Every setback is a lesson. Every failure is a stepping stone. When you change the way you perceive stress, you change the way your body responds to it. Reframing allows you to transform anxiety into motivation and frustration into determination. But emotional control isn't just about thinking positively, it's about actively choosing your response. It's about practicing patience, restraint, and self-compassion. It's about knowing that you're not perfect, but that's okay. We all experience difficult emotions, but the key is not to let them control you. Choose to respond with awareness, choose to act with intention, and choose to move forward with confidence. You've probably heard the phrase respond, don't react. It sounds simple, but in practice, it's a powerful tool. Responding means taking the time to gather your thoughts, to understand your emotions, and to choose your words and actions deliberately. Reacting, on the other hand, is impulsive. It's a knee-jerk response driven by emotion, and it often leads to regret. The difference between responding and reacting is the difference between being in control and being controlled. Emotional control also involves taking responsibility for your own feelings. It's easy to blame others for how you feel, but that's a trap. No one else is responsible for your emotions, you are. This doesn't mean you should ignore injustice or allow others to mistreat you, but it does mean that you can choose how you let others' actions affect you. You can choose to rise above petty conflicts, to protect your peace, and to not let anyone else's drama become your problem. Think about the most successful people you admire, whether in business, sports, or life. They all share one trait: they've mastered their emotions. They don't let anger cloud their judgment. They don't let fear hold them back. They don't let frustration drive them to make poor decisions. Instead, they've developed the ability to stay calm, think clearly, and respond with intention, no matter the circumstances. And you can do the same. Emotional control isn't something you're born with. It's a skill that can be developed through practice and persistence. The more you choose to respond instead of react, the more you'll strengthen your emotional muscles. Over time, you'll find that stress no longer has the same power over you. You'll become someone who stays calm in the chaos, focused in the storm, and unshaken by the challenges that life throws your way. Now, this doesn't mean you won't feel stress. You will, It doesn't mean you won't experience fear or frustration. You will. But it does mean that you can handle those feelings with grace and composure. It means that when life gets tough, you won't crumble under pressure. You'll rise. You'll respond with clarity. You'll stay aligned with your goals, no matter what. So the next time you're faced with stress or adversity, take a deep breath and remember, you have the power to control your response. Choose calm over chaos. Choose patience over impulsiveness. Choose strength over fear. And in doing so, you'll not only master your emotions, you'll master your life. Now go ahead, take a step back, breathe, and choose to respond with the kind of emotional control that will take you to new heights. Because you have everything within you to turn stress into strength, frustration into focus, and adversity into victory. Chapter 10. Surround yourself with positive influences that inspire growth. Your life is being shaped every day by the people you let near your mind. So the question is, are they helping you grow or quietly holding you back? This isn't about being liked or being around people who entertain you. This is about who influences your thoughts, who amplifies your ambitions, and who challenges you to rise higher when life tries to pull you down. Most people stay stuck not because they lack potential, but because they're surrounded by voices that keep them small. People who complain, doubt, gossip, and settle. People who feed you fear instead of courage. People who drain your energy instead of pushing you to expand it. If you've ever wondered why you keep hitting the same walls, take a hard look at who's standing around you. If you're serious about growing, you must make this decision now. Surround yourself only with those who reflect the future you want, not the past you're trying to escape. Look around. Are the people you spend the most time with hungry for greatness? Are they disciplined, focused, and committed to becoming better every day? Or are they just existing, talking about problems but never changing, blaming the world but never taking responsibility, making excuses while time keeps slipping away? You absorb their mindset whether you realize it or not. That's how influence works. It seeps into you. It becomes your inner voice. And if you're not careful, you'll start mimicking their habits, thinking their thoughts, and living their limitations. The truth is, you can't grow in toxic soil. You can't evolve in environments that celebrate mediocrity. If the people around you make you feel guilty for trying to improve, you're in the wrong room. If they mock your ambition, distance yourself. If they can't celebrate your wins, stop sharing your vision with them. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. Protect your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. Growth requires friction, but not the kind that tears you down. The right people challenge you in a way that makes you stronger. They push you to stay disciplined, not by criticizing you, but by holding you to your potential. They speak life into your ideas, not because they're trying to flatter you, but because they believe in the strength you sometimes forget you have. You need voices that ignite something inside you, not those that make you question your worth. Think about the last time you felt unstoppable. Maybe it was after a powerful conversation. Maybe it was when someone reminded you of who you are and what you're capable of. That's what real influence feels like. It doesn't weigh you down. It lifts you. It sharpens your thinking. It reminds you that you're not alone on this path, and that greatness is still possible, even when the world tries to convince you otherwise. But you don't just stumble into environments that elevate you. You create them deliberately. You build your circle with intention. You seek out mentors who've done what you want to do. You study the habits of disciplined people. You cut ties with gossip, drama, negativity. You stop entertaining energy that drains your focus. You don't compromise when it comes to your future. And here's the hardest part. Sometimes the people you need to let go of are the ones closest to you. Friends you've known for years. Family who doesn't understand your vision. People you've shared history with but who no longer align with your future. Letting go doesn't mean you hate them. It means you've chosen to honor your potential more than your past. It means you're no longer willing to shrink yourself to fit inside a life that no longer fits your growth. There's a price for peace, and sometimes that price is distance. Distance from people who don't get it. Distance from those who refuse to change. Distance from environments where small thinking is the norm. But what you gain in return is clarity. You begin to hear your own voice again. You begin to feel your own power returning. And slowly you start to move differently. With more purpose. With more self-respect. With more hunger. The people you choose to allow into your space are either pulling you toward your best self or pushing you further away from it. There's no neutral. Every conversation either strengthens your clarity or adds confusion. Every relationship either fuels your ambition or feeds your distractions. Every influence is a vote for the kind of life you're building. That's why you have to take this seriously. The wrong people can sabotage your progress without ever laying a hand on your goals, just by planting seeds of doubt, distraction and delay. But there's another side to this story. Because just as the wrong people can keep you stuck, the right ones can elevate you beyond what you thought was possible. One conversation with the right person can light a fire in you that changes your entire trajectory. One encounter with someone who sees your potential can give you the courage to chase something you've been afraid to reach for. One mentor can save you years of struggle by showing you a better way. That's the power of proximity. So be intentional. Audit your circle. Ask yourself who challenges my thinking, who inspires me to be more disciplined, who celebrates my growth, even when it means I'm changing, who holds me accountable to my standards, not theirs. And then ask the harder question, who brings noise into my life? Who drains my focus? Who keeps me emotionally stuck? Who makes me question my worth when I start chasing better? Because the truth is you become like the people you spend time with. Their habits shape yours. Their beliefs bleed into your decisions. Their energy becomes the soundtrack of your day. If you surround yourself with people who settle, you'll start to settle. If you surround yourself with people who strive, you'll start to rise. So choose wisely. Choose growth. Choose alignment. Choose relationships that are rooted in purpose, not comfort. And don't wait for people to find you. Go seek them. If you want to grow, you have to put yourself in rooms that stretch you. Attend events. Join communities. Read what the greats have written. Watch how successful people move, think, speak and live. Learn. Adapt. Model excellence until it becomes your standard. The path to greatness is paved with exposure, and the more you expose yourself to people who live at higher levels, the more your mindset will adapt to match. You don't need 1,000 people in your circle. You just need a few real ones. People who see you, who challenge you, who remind you of your strength when you forget. People who speak to the version of you that's still unfolding. People who won't let you quit when the process gets hard. Because it will get hard. Growth always is. But the right voices will remind you why you started. They'll hold the mirror up and show you what you're capable of. And they'll walk with you not because they have to, but because they're growing too. This journey of becoming your best self is not meant to be walked alone. But it also isn't meant to be shared with everyone. Guard your energy. Honor your space. Build a circle that matches your future, not your fears. And remember this: you are not obligated to remain accessible to people who have chosen not to grow. That's not cold, it's called maturity. Your future deserves that level of protection. So here's your call to action today. Take a bold inventory of the people closest to you. Ask yourself if they reflect the kind of person you're becoming. And if they don't, make the necessary shifts. It might feel uncomfortable. It might even hurt. But what hurts more is staying small in a life that demands you rise. Surround yourself with excellence, and excellence will become your new normal. Seek out wisdom, and your perspective will evolve. Choose people who fuel your fire, and you'll never lose momentum again. Your environment is either a prison or a launch pad, so build one that launches you toward everything you were meant to be. The power is in your hands. Use it wisely, and don't stop until you've built a circle that reflects your highest self.